I recently watched a video by my friend Hannah Louise Poston about deprogramming our obsession with newness. Now, Hannah's video is about fashion and our obsession with newness of fashion and why we chase that aesthetic. Hannah did a great job, as always, of breaking it down in how it relates to fashion and her approach. I'll link the video below. Go watch it. It's fantastic. Hannah's video struck such a chord with me as a quilter, and I've been thinking deeply about how we as quilters approach our stash, our creativity, and the constant push of new fabric release and new items and new things to buy. The hamster wheel of consumerism, as it was. So let's explore some questions today about, I don't know, the deeper meaning of it all maybe, and finding joy in what we already have and how to find a balance. Hi, I'm Amy and I make things. And today I'm making an effort to reflect on my own struggles with creativity and consumption and the fear of missing out and how to find some balance. Come on, let's talk about it. I've touched on some of these topics before, many of them actually. It's just something that I'm always thinking about. The quilting fabric manufacturers and notions manufacturers, their job is to sell product and to help their quilt stores and retailers market and sell product. And they're very good at it. That makes my job as a consumer to be very discerning about where I invest my time and my money and my energy. That's my job, not theirs. Their job is to sell fabric. They use social media. They use the fear of missing out. They use the marketing machine to entice me to want to buy. Collections are marketed months in advance. Collections are marketed as collections, as an entire bundle that you don't want to miss out on. They're marketed as limited edition. Collections are curated to make you feel like you need every single piece in that bundle. And even patterns. Patterns are designed to promote fabric lines, and they often make us feel like we must have exactly what's shown to make our quilt as beautiful as the one that's pictured. And the real truth of marketing is that none of it's true. All right? None of it is really real. It is a contrived machine to sell product, and it's good at it, right? And like I say, that makes it my job to question, is that really true? Do I really need this brand new bundle, every piece in the collection and every piece in every collection for every season, because it is never ending? Do I really need that? Do I really even want it? So, you know, these are just the things I think about. That obsession with new, that obsession with what's next. Hannah really got me thinking. And I try in my own life to look at the scraps, the things that I already have, mix and match it with what's new and what I love. I'm not anti-shopping. Some people are anti-shopping. Let me use what I have. I'm not going to buy anything. And if that works for them, that's great. But that's not what I'm getting at here. What I don't know. I'm just talking with you. We're just sitting in the sewing room, having a chat, and I'm working through all of these ideas. I think there are bigger questions. I think there are bigger questions at play. It's not just about the new fabric or the new line. It's about my relationship with consumerism. And, you know, on my tiny little scale, just in my corner of the world, these are the things I'm thinking about. I used to watch all the live streams of new releases and new fabric lines and fabric pull creations from several retailers. And I love them. And it gave me a sense of community at a time when I really needed it. At the same time, it did foster in me this, oh, I need to have that. I need to have that. If I had that, I could make this beautiful thing. And that's true. If I had that, I could make this beautiful thing. But I already have things. I already have a lot of things. I already have probably too many things and not enough time and energy to make those things, to make those beautiful things that I was seeing and wanting and wishing for, and building this fantasy that if I had this, then I would get that, right? And I think about what that cost, both financially, that constant buying of new materials, but what it cost me in time, because I was spending time investing in keeping apprised of what was new, because I don't know why. I was interested in it. And like I said, it made me feel part of I don't know, maybe it made me feel like I was part of the in the know crowd, to know what was coming up and what this designer or that designer had, or what was going on. And I have come to the realization that it's okay if I don't have an opinion about such things. I am perfectly happy to hold no opinion about what new release is coming out, or what's trending, or what's popular, because I reevaluated what I want out of my quilting. And what I want out of my quilting is to quilt, is to make things, is to use all those beautiful fabrics that I have collected over many years, that I loved then and still love now, and to use them, right? To create those beautiful things that I was dreaming about when I purchased them. So I wonder sometimes about what that obsession with the new, obsession with the now, obsession with the what's coming, I wonder what that cost us. I wonder how much time and energy and creativity. I know I felt trapped in that cycle of keeping up. And there's some freedom that I feel now from not knowing, from not keeping up. And I'll tell you something else. It also allows me to be constantly surprised when I do go into a quilt store and I see something beautiful and I'm like, oh, this is new. I had no idea. Look at this. This is so cool. I get to be surprised in that way and have a different experience in the quilt shops. And we all have fabric that we bought 2 or 3 or 5 or 20 years ago that we still love. There's creative opportunity in mixing that older fabric with maybe a few newer pieces, right? That you don't have if we're always chasing what's new and what's next. There's something special about pulling out fabric that you've had for years and finding the perfect use for it and using it and loving it, and maybe visiting the memories of when you bought it and what was going on in your life at that time. I find immense value in, I do, in working from scraps and trash and bits from other people, the scrap stash serendipity of it all. I think there is immense creativity in solving problems, in solving these things don't quite go together. What can I do to make it work? Right? There's ingenuity in that. There's opportunity for something amazing to happen. There's something amazing when you have a limitation, when you only have a tiny amount of one fabric that is super special and you want to use it. You have to be innovative and creative in the judicious use of that fabric and in finding ways to make it work with other things that you already have. And sometimes I find satisfaction in finishing a quilt or a project from fabric that I have saved and loved for a long time rather than all new materials. There's something more meaningful imbued in that fabric, in that process for me. If you've been here for more than a minute, you know I sort everything by color. That's how I work with fabric. I treat it like an artist or a painter treats paint. I work with color. I don't care about the designer. I don't care about the print, the collection, the date. I am looking at the fabric to serve purpose based on color and scale and print. So I think, I don't know. And I know this video is scattered and a little all over the place, but this is how my brain works. You guys are getting a good insight into the things that go on behind the scenes within my mind. I think about these things. I think about how we can make quilting accessible. I think about what I hope quilting can be for everyone. I think about breaking down limitations of cost, of accessibility, of exclusivity. I want quilting to be available for everyone. And if I am susceptible to being bought into, caught up in the marketing machine and the marketing language and the ideas that the quilt industry tries to convince me of, if I fall victim to the marketing machinery of you must buy the collection to make this lovely quilt, and I do, and I have. If I fall victim to it, someone who really does delve into these ideas and think about them, I wonder if those ideas are gatekeeping quilting from a larger community. If the image is that you have to have this bundle to make a beautiful quilt, if that is the idea we're promoting as an industry, not as individuals, because you're not like that. I know you're not. But if that is what the industry is promoting, that can exclude a lot of people and a lot of new quilters and a lot of interesting ideas and imaginative people, simply because it can be cost prohibitive. And I hate that. I hate that so much. Quilting is for everyone. Sewing is for everyone. When I think about quilting and what I think about quilts, what I love about quilts, the ingenuity of making do, the using what's available, the quilts that I know from my own history and from the history of my Southern upbringing, the obsession with the new plays no part in it. This everything matches and everything's curated to a fine degree. They don't have anything to do with one another. Buying the bundle, someone else's design, someone else's vision, leaves a little bit lacking for me, because I want to see you in your quilt. I want to see your color style. I want to see your color placement. I want to see your ideas and your hand in your quilt. I want that to show in my own quilts. What do I do about all these deep thoughts that are swirling around in my mind? The things that are important to me and that I want to talk to you about are being mindful about and aware of the marketing tactics that are happening. Be aware and make conscious choices. I'm not saying don't shop. I'm not saying don't go to your quilt store and spend all your money. It's good to get excited about new fabric. It's also good to have a healthy appreciation of what we already have, about the thing we were excited about last year, right? Because that's not gone away. We just forgot. The fact is, we shop, myself included. We can shop even if we're not spending money. Even if we're shopping that free table, we can shop much faster than we sew. A friend of mine used to keep track of fabric in versus fabric out on a very detailed and complex spreadsheet. She was a numbers kind of engineer. And it's enlightening. It is absolutely astounding. It's much faster to shop than it is to sew. So what does it all mean? Probably nothing. It just is, these are the things I think about. These are the things that I consider and I really want to be aware of. I want quilting to be accessible for everyone. I want no one to be excluded because of an image that is portrayed by an industry trying to sell us a product, right? How heartbreaking is it to find out that someone maybe felt that they couldn't be a quilter because they don't have this bundle and this pattern and they can't make that quilt. That's the worst, right? We don't want that. That would break my heart because I feel so convicted that this creative hobby can be for anyone. The irony is not lost on me that this video is going up as I am at QuiltCon, right? Huge quilting convention, and a large component of that is a vendor market. The timing is not unintentional. I wanted to film this video and talk about these things to cement in my mind my real mission and my real purpose and the things that I really want, because it is so easy to get caught up in the excitement and the energy of the vendor market and think, oh, yes, this and this and this and this, and chase that new shiny, I need this, I need that. And I look around here in my room, this beautiful space, and I don't need a thing. And it's going to be harder because Casey's with me and he is the biggest enabler because he just wants me to be happy. But when I really dig deep and when I really reflect on it, what makes me happy is not buying more stuff. It's not having more options. It's making quilts. It's taking the things that I have that are available to me and making a quilt that will make someone else feel loved. That's what makes me happy. I don't know. I hope that I can carry these ideas and this rambly conversation with me into QuiltCon and that vendor market and that excitement. And really remember what about stash building and quilting and sewing is important to me. Now, I would never, ever presume to tell you not to shop, not to buy, your quilting journey is absolutely your own. There is no right way or wrong way to stash or to shop or to sew or to quilt. I wanted to sit here and have this conversation with you because these are the things that are going through my mind and are on my heart. And I wonder what you think as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you balance the excitement of new releases or a vendor market at a quilt show with the joy of creating from what you already have? What are your tips and tricks? How do you balance that? Do we balance that? Understanding how we're programmed to always want new doesn't mean that I never buy new fabric. It means I can make choices about where I invest my time and energy more consciously, with more awareness. Now, I'm excited to see what's new at the show, but I am equally excited to come home and look at my stash with new, fresh eyes and with new ideas from all the wonderful quilts that I know I'm going to see. I know I've asked more questions than I've answered, which is always an interesting philosophical discussion, and I can't wait to hear your comments. So I hope to move forward mindfully. I hope that we all move forward and create from a place of abundance and joy rather than scarcity and fear. And I hope that you never, ever forget that you make the world more beautiful just by being in it. I'm Amy, and I'll see you next time.